To achieve their ambition to be kings of Europe, the palace is already built. £29 million spent on developing Ibrox over the last 5 years, and that's not been at the expense of investment in the team. Duncan Ferguson, the £4 million purchase from Dundee United, has his European baptism tonight. So too does Ali Maxwell, the goalkeeper who's filled the gap left by Andy Goram's injury. With the late withdrawal of Richard Gough with a groin problem, Stuart McCall is captain. McCall's own determination to play swaying Walter Smith towards taking the risk with him so soon after surgery. Ian Durrant, only a substitute on Saturday against Partick, is in from the start. No Mikhailichenko, no Houstra, the three permitted foreigners, the England trio of Gary Stevens, Trevor Steven and Mark Hateley. Andy.
Well, as you can imagine, Mark, I'm going to deal mainly with this Rangers side and what they're going to try and do tonight. Having a word downstairs with Walter Smith, two positions are important when they're playing at home, David Robertson and Gary Stevens. He wants particularly Gary Stevens to be forced on the outside of Trevor Steven, to get up forward as much as he can. Obviously David Robertson the same on that side. The reason he wants Gary Stevens to do that is he's not been happy with Derek Ferguson and Mark Hateley as a duo up front. He's felt they were a duo, and they've kept going for the same ball, looking for the same things, so he hasn't been able to do that. What he wants Ferguson to do is to play wide, but to be available for any cross-field balls from Gary Stevens for Duncan Ferguson at the back post.
Levski Sofia have had to leave behind their captain Nasko Sirikov. His replacement is number 8 Trendafilov. 32-year-old Sasha Markov has been brought back to the defence for his knowledge of this type of tie. Those two changes apart, it is the side which Walter Smith's number 2 Archie Knox saw on Saturday. They beat Slavia Sofia to go to the top of Bulgaria's first division. Tim Milton from Denmark, who refereed Rangers last season in the European Cup and the Champions League, part of it. It's a perfect night for football after a spell of wet and windy weather in Glasgow. An early header for Stephen Presley, a late replacement for Richard Gough. He's wearing number 6, a call number 4. Levski have changed their side considerably from last season. And straight away they might be wondering whether they've got to change the team from the starting formation.
Well, they went down as if he'd been shot there.
That's Kremenliev.
I think you can see, I think Mark Hateley's trailing leg there, just caught him on the side. I hope that's not a sign of things to come, Mark. At the slightest touch, players are riding about like that.
Kremenliev, who made his international debut last Wednesday for Bulgaria in the World Cup against Sweden. It looks as though Bulgaria will miss out on qualification. Sweden and France, the form horses in that particular group.
I'll tell you what's going to be interesting for the Bulgarians early on. They've got two specific markers picked to play, and at the moment Mark Hateley's occupying 3 players. And if that continues, that can only be good for Rangers.
Well, certainly Rangers expect man-to-man marking really all over the pitch at the moment. The Bulgarians haven't worked out exactly the lineup of the Scottish champions.
It's number 9 Slavchev and number 5 Markov, who would be the markers normally. And if Ian Durrant just plays in that little withdrawn position, it'll be interesting to see if one of the markers drops and picks him up.
Well, that has happened straight away. Markov is taking Durrant. So they have sorted it out to that extent. Here's Trevor Steven. Hateley. Gary Stevens, a little English triangle there. Trevor Steven has come into the reckoning if he has a good month. There's a vacant midfield spot for England in Holland in the World Cup.
Yeah, I've known Trevor as I do. From years and years ago, Mark, I've always believed that he was the type of player that should be contesting an England place every time there's an international. He's certainly got that ability.
Gary Stevens, who didn't play at all in Rangers' European campaign last season because of injury. Duncan Ferguson, who's so good in the air. starting on the left-hand side, and not, as you might have expected, in a pairing up front with Mark Hateley. They've been playing like that recently, and it hasn't really worked for Leeds' Walter Smith. Partly because Ferguson, by his own admission, is only about 90% fit at the moment. He came here with injury problems, a legacy from last season. McPherson. Here's Duncan Ferguson. Cool, as he was caught there by Todorov.
That's one of those that could be really nasty. Luckily, Stuart McCall just managed to pull out of it. You see there, Todorov's committed himself to the tackle. Stuart McCall's able to stop his follow-through.
From David Robertson. Away by Vankov. Morgun, the goalkeeper. It's only his second start in the Levski goal. But he did play for the new coach here, Georgi Vasilev. And they were together at a previous club, Etar, that won the championship. And as I said a moment or two ago, it is a much-changed Levski Sofia side from that which actually won the title at the end of last season. 5 new players from the 11 starting this game. Here's Duncan Ferguson. He'd love to get his first goal tonight. It's his 7th game in Rangers colours. Looking to be a provider, though, here. Durant beaten in the air in the centre. Here's Presley. Now McPherson. Cut from Ian Ferguson. What was so impressive about Rangers in Europe last season was that they did seem to play a continental style.
I know that, Martin, but I'm just thinking early on in the game here at Ibrox, and you look at the height advantage Duncan Ferguson has over Kremenliev in that area. I would be very, very tempted early on in the game if I was on the touchline to be getting a message to my back players and say, listen, if you get a chance, look for Duncan Ferguson. Get people up and support him, because we expect him to win most of this kind of ball.
Just like that. It's a tactic that we've seen from Leeds United with Gary Speed playing on the left-hand side and climbing to direct headers across goal. He's been very much in the news recently, Duncan Ferguson.
Well, he'll be wanting to create headlines of a different kind tonight, won't he? He's certainly got the ability to do that.
Kremenliev. Holding ahead of him. It's a good tackle back by Ferguson. But David Robertson was having a rare old tussle. We've got in Milov. Yakov. He scored twice in the league on Saturday, although he's really a holding midfield player. Quickly was Presley. Ian Durant. Presley again. Slavchev, this beanpole of a defender, definitely has the responsibility for Hateley. Kremenliev, though, does look vulnerable in the air against the shorter Duncan Ferguson. And Gary Stevens might seek that out now across a poor one.
Yeah, that was quick thinking from Ian Durant on the free kick. Looked up, saw Duncan Ferguson and pulled to the back post against Kremenliev and knocked it in immediately.
Off another of the current Bulgarian internationals in the Levski side. Wearing number 4 and pushing on down the left-hand side from left back. Touched on by Duncan Ferguson, well anticipated by Durant, who's made a typically lively start. McCall, there's no offside here, but there's no ball either for Hateley. It drops beyond him.
Well, that's 3 times now the Bulgarian side have tried to push out to catch Rangers offside, and 3 times have failed.
And I must say, it's quite an attacking Levski lineup. They lost Sirikov, their star from the '86 World Cup finals, their captain, who was injured on Saturday. And They have replaced him with another out-and-out forward. They are playing with 2 up. But it's the defence that's under question here with Durant. Haitley can try and tee up Trevor Stephen.
But that's what they're looking to do, get both fullbacks forward if they can.
This is Grigorash, who's a Romanian. Number 10, Todorov, back in Bulgaria after 2 seasons in the French First Division. And no foul there as Yankov lost his footing. Stephen looking early for Haitley. He's got away from Slavchev for a moment. There's no cover on the marker there, but Haitley couldn't get in behind him. Rangers currently only 5th in the Premier Division. Out of sorts in the league. Although they are in the semi-finals of the League Cup. They play Celtic here next Wednesday night. Milov looking for Todorov. And it's certainly not a policy of just getting players behind the ball from the Bulgarians.
Well, it is when they lose it. That's a certainty. They can drop players back very quickly, as many behind the ball as they can. But you're right, once they have possession, they've looked early on to be breaking forward very quickly.
And with numbers, which is perhaps even more surprising. Sasha Markov, who was also in the World Cup squad in '86 from Mexico, 32 years old now. Looking a bit like Harpo Markov.
You see lots of that from markers, man-for-man markers, Martin. They're quite prepared to give away free kicks all over the pitch.
Free kick to Rangers. McPherson will reach it! And it was, well, off the line when the goal looked there for Rangers, and how they would have loved to have had the lift of a strike inside the opening 10 minutes. McPherson so close to supplying it.
Well, I thought that was past the goalkeeper, and out came his left hand. I think it was his left hand that came out and just swatted the ball away, basically. For all the world, that looked like it was just about to nestle in the net. But the promising thing will be the marking is absolutely abysmal. Bends it in wonderfully. Now look, the goalkeeper comes, goes back, sticks up his left hand, and basically swats it away with a little bit of help from the sweeper Hubchev.
They needed Hubchev there. Duncan Ferguson going in, and behind him, Haitley trying to scoop to conquer them.
I mean, yes, play the ball about, yes, be patient. But I think with what we've seen in the first 10 minutes or so, Rangers are going to get some joy tonight if they can put balls into the box, whether it be set pieces or in free play.
McPherson. Duncan Ferguson just helping it on down the line. Slavchev alongside Haitley. It'll be like that for the remainder of the evening, one would suspect. Krenenliev. Throw to Rangers.
There will be. There's no way that they'll want Markov to be caught on Mark Haitley with the height difference. So it will be Slavchev who will follow Haitley everywhere.
Ian Ferguson, who's been in good goal-scoring form, particularly in cup ties, and very nearly making his mark here in the European Cup itself.
It's lovely link-up play. Great vision from Durant with a little knockdown. A fabulous backing up play from midfield. And he really has got a shot like a real Ian Ferguson when he hits them. The only thing he did wrong for me is I think I'm missing the target.
It was Ian Ferguson who took Rangers into the semi-final of the League Cup with a terrific strike here against Aberdeen. Haitley free to guide it down. Durant recognised that and get in across quickly here. That was Ian Ferguson again ducking in.
What I'd like to see now in European games, the home team just building up a little bit of pressure and sustaining it.
And Ferguson turning beautifully, just out of the reach of Gary Stevens and out of play.
He's unlucky. It looked like he was about to be crowded out, Ian Ferguson, but a lovely turn and almost found Gary Stevens.
It is in goal scoring that Rangers have been below par this season, just 7 in 6 league games. You do feel that can only get better. Todorov left the area that the ball went into at the wrong time for the Bulgarian champions. Stevens. Pressing. Way out here through David Robertson. He's only 24, but playing for the 7th season in European competition. He started with Aberdeen. Pressing. He's going to cross in from here if he wants. Hateley gave him an option. He got it onto his strong left foot. Fired away. But Morgun, this Ukrainian goalkeeper, was taking up the right angle position there.
Lovely skill from Mark Hateley. Really was.
Robertson. Hateley and Durant going for the same ball. And a bit of pushing by Duncan Ferguson. But Morgun made this look rather easier than it seemed to save. Todorov. Milov. Trevor Stevens. Let's just have a look at the build-up again with the ball into Hateley's feet rather than across.
It's worth it to see the skill here. Look at that. Lovely little drag back there. Hits that well enough, but fortunately for Morgun, it's straight down his throat.
Going to the left, but that had no chance of reaching him. Steven for Durant. It's a little sloppy and the crowd reacted adversely to it. Rangers still have the ball in McPherson. 15 minutes gone.
Funny enough, Martin, when the Bulgarians go forward like that, and as you said, they are prepared to throw one or two numbers up there. And if Rangers win the ball back early, if they're a little bit quicker in the build-up, a little bit more positive earlier,
referee just having a word with Boromilov. Robertson. Cleared by Markov. McPherson has come closest so far to giving Rangers the lead. Robertson. Boromilov in quickly again. 23 years old, played 3 times already for Bulgaria. Country that Scottish fans were grateful to only a couple of years ago when they held Romania to allow Scotland to go into the European Championship finals for the first time. Stevens. Ian Ferguson let it run, and he couldn't really have had a call to do that. There was no chance of McCall getting the ball. Todorov. Retanov. Yakov. Sweeper Hubchev. Tight for Todorov on the far side. Certainly Levski Sofia playing the way that Walker Smith and Archie Knox would have suggested to the Rangers team after the spying missions. For their part, the Bulgarians have had one of their coaches over here for 10 days now. And he's going to stay on for another week to get more information for the second leg. At first, here's a beautiful surface on which to pass the ball, but Rangers not doing it effectively then. This is Grigorash. There's a ball on across the face of the penalty area to Todorov, and he didn't recognise it quickly enough, otherwise Rangers would have been in real trouble.
We could thank Stuart McCall for not committing himself forward, just filled in when David Ferguson went past him, and that was a vital decision from Stuart McCall.
play by Grigorash again. Whenever Levski get the ball, they're prepared to have three players up very quickly and supported from midfield. But here's a galloping run from Robertson. That's a useful cross to the type that Haitley thrives on.
Well, that's better. That's the kind of pace at times that Rangers have brought to inject in the game. Because David Robertson took the initiative, decided I'll go on my own. He fired in a very good quality cross. There's a little look early, knows where he wants to play it, goes into an area, saying to Mark Haitley, go and attack it. He can't keep his header down.
Duncan Ferguson. Haitley. Putting his foot in, but Durant taking over for Rangers. McCall coming up in support. Ahead of him is Trevor Stephen.
Rangers can just have a look occasionally, Martin, when they have the ball in the last third, or about 30-40 yards from goal. When Trevor Stephen tucks in from the right, Gary Stephen has absolutely acres on the right-hand side of the field. If someone just looks up and is prepared to switch the play.
Stephen. And Gary Stevens, who's such a fine athlete, but still really getting himself back in prime condition, having missed so much of last season. And indeed the start of this. Robertson. Certainly the Bulgarians defending very deep. And allowing Rangers to hover on the edge of the area there. Go back into that area, but Durant this time is offside.
They'll have plenty of possession, Rangers up to 30-40 yards from goal. And that's when the final ball is vital. The most concentration is required when you're delivering that final ball.
Lennox Lewis, WBC champion of the world. Frank Bruno, the #1 contender. On October the 1st, the question must be answered. Become a part of sports history as it happens. Lewis Bruno live only on Sky Sports.
For Nigel Mansell, it's racing excitement with speed sound. Nigel's in front. He roars past the control tower. Watch out, space track. Nigel takes the lead. Last lap, approaching the checkered flag. He's won. New Formula Tyco speed sound with real racing sound.
Because you love him, give him Caesar. Choice cuts of fine meats, carefully selected and prepared with the vitamins and minerals he needs every day. Caesar, to love him like he loves you.
Meet Scratchy.
Who?
Scratchy, he may look pretty ordinary, but he's done something outstanding.
What?
He's found out how he could win anything from a £5 to £10,000 while sitting in a chair.
In a chair?
Yeah.
How can I do it?
Just find a phone, sit down, dial 0891 999 and answer a few true or false sports statements correctly, and you could win anything from £5 to £10,000. Hey, where are you going?
To find a phone.
Scratch It, the new phone game where you could win up to £10,000. Just dial 0891 999 now.
I find your microbes fascinating.
You do?
They cause the dandruff.
So that's why you offered to wash my hair.
Why else?
But I thought...
Actually, I want to wash half in a medicated anti-dandruff shampoo and half in Head & Shoulders to show that Head & Shoulders neutralizes more of the microbes that cause dandruff. Look, on this side.
Still dandruff.
But with Head & Shoulders...
Nothing.
Except beautiful hair.
How can I thank you? Dinner, perhaps?
Not tonight. I'm washing my hair.
Head & Shoulders doesn't half-shift dandruff.
I couldn't believe that Pampers could be beaten for skin dryness until I found a new nappy. And then I found that these Pampers Baby Dry were brilliant, unbelievable. As a nursery deputy and Anna's mum, I feel that skin dryness is very important to me. In the morning, before I use Pampers Baby Dry, she's generally a bit clammy, you know, a bit wet.
Introducing new Pampers Baby Dry. Only Pampers Baby Dry has this unique Baby Dry layer that lets wetness right through and then turns white again, helping to keep baby dry.
Every morning since I've been using Pampers Baby Dry, she has been dry and her skin's been very soft and dry as well. It's so unbelievable, it really is. I think it's the children in my nursery wearing Pampers Baby Dry nappies. We're talking about dry bottoms all over the place, all day. It'd be wonderful.
New Pampers Baby Dry for the driest, happiest babies.
Leo Lemke went fishing and returned with a most unlikely catch.
This is my bride.
Their destiny was written in the stars.
Leo's married to a clairvoyant.
Jeff Daniels and Demi Moore as...
The butcher's wife.
No more of this hocus pocus.
Fate brought them together, but true love kept them apart.
Would you fancy meeting a cuddly middle-aged man?
The Butcher's Wife, the television premiere, Sunday night at 8 on the Movie Channel.
This autumn on Sky One, the mini-series looks simply sensational. From Alex Haley, creator of Roots, comes Queen, a struggle against adversity to find acceptance and true love. Starring Danny Glover, Martin Sheen, and Halle Berry as Queen. Then from Sidney Sheldon's best-selling novel comes the action-packed mini-series of suspense, passion, and betrayal, The Sands of Time. From the Pulitzer Prize-winning author comes Return to Lonesome Dove. Starring John Voight, Lou Gossett Jr., Barbara Hershey, Ricky Schroeder, and Oliver Reed. Then comes a powerful miniseries that exposes the hidden early life of one of America's great heroes, JFK, Reckless Youth. 2 family members are dead. 2 family members are accused of murder.
What kind of a monster would do that?
Based on the terrifying true story, Bloodlines, Murder in the Family. The biggest miniseries this autumn are on Sky One.
That's good.
Last year, all 4 of the Bulgarian clubs in Europe went out in the first round, whitewash. Real determination in the country for that not to happen again. The second leg will be played in the Levski Stadium where the national team play in Sofia. They could get as many as 65,000 if the game is within the reach of the Bulgarian club. So Rangers will feel that they've got to do some good work here tonight at Ibrox. 0-0 so far. But there's been a lot of talk about the importance of keeping a clean sheet in the home leg.
That's the one thing you demand, first of all. And that's the one thing Walter Smith has said. Listen, no matter what else happens, I want a clean sheet tonight.
McPherson darted on, hoping for a quick free kick for Rangers here. The ball has to go back. Paul directing operations for the side he captains tonight in the absence of Richard Goff.
We certainly do fancy Ian Ferguson.
Haley's come to be involved as well. Short for Ian Ferguson.
He'll be booked, Martin. The Bulgarian charger there will be booked.
It's the number 3 is booked.
You see there, he's only about 5 yards off the ball. The referee spotted it immediately and had no hesitation. They're very quick on that in Europe. Anyone encroaching like that.
So take 2 at this free kick for Rangers, and Markov now coming out saying perhaps that the ball's placed in the wrong position. He gets a yellow card as well. And now there's some collective anger from Levski. This referee, who's very well thought of in UEFA refereeing circles, he's only 33. I think Markov's saying that the whistle hadn't gone, but nevertheless, why was he going in to get to the ball? So after 2 yellow cards for the players in yellow shirts, can Rangers really make them angry now by scoring? Hinckley trying to steer it in.
Rangers hate that when they get free kicks in situations like that, 20, 30 yards from goal, and the goalkeeper's not called upon to make a save of any sort. Almost half an hour gone, Mark. I'd just like to have seen Morgan in the Sofia goal tested a little bit more. Very few questions being asked of him at the moment.
As I say, he is a new goalkeeper for this team. His first full game for them in the league on Saturday. It was a big question mark as to who would be the goalkeeper tonight. They brought 3 over with them in a squad of 18. Getting the vote. Todorov. Grigorash. Very nearly came off for Levski. It's the type of run that the crowd love here from McPherson. Duncan Ferguson on from the court. McPherson making the extra man. Robertson joining in. But now with 2 defenders out of position. Todorov trying to be the architect of a break here for Levski Sofia. Borimirov. Todorov. Rangers are back in force now, but they still need to get the ball. Todorov, who's been just a little laborious when quicker passing, might well have found a way to go. Borimirov presented with the ball by Robertson.
Just got to be careful, Rangers, when they bring forward like that. They've got to have a little bit of discipline at the back still.
Stephen. So much to be gained from European football in terms of prestige and fame around the continent, but of course financially as well. Haley is onside, found by Ian Ferguson.
He's not happy, Duncan Ferguson. Look at his face. But he won't be happy either, Mark Haley, because he's better than this. Loses his marker totally. He's looking just to play it across the face of the goal. You can see why Duncan Ferguson's upset, because he also lost his marker in that near post area and was completely free.
Duncan Ferguson had a goal disallowed here against Partick on Saturday. He's hit the post 3 times in his previous appearances. Desperate to get off the mark. No handball. Dafilov. Kremenliev for the throw. Well, Rangers having the territorial supremacy. Kremenliev. Robertson is giving the ball back to Borimirov. Here's McCall. Radiates energy. Yankov. So Jeff Haley trying to dispossess the sweeper. Yankov able to give him an avenue in which to pass the ball. Kremenliev. Now Todorov. Well, that was arguably their first real effort at goal. It was mishit by Grigorash, but what was more impressive was the build-up play.
It gets in very easily for me as well. Grigorash walks into acres of space. Didn't have to do an awful lot to get in there.
Robertson. Again, very deep defending by the Bulgarians. McCall. Durant. Sliding in. Yankov felled by McCall, who hasn't played since the opening day of the season. That was August the 7th up here in Scotland. Picked up an injury that day, needed a hernia operation. Rather rushed back tonight. Oh, Durant got a boot in the face that was ducking down in the mind of the referee. Todorov. Ferguson. Durant with his mind back on the job. Stephen. First and again. This is not the first time he's given Levski a different kind of problem. Here's Duncan Ferguson, twisting it towards Hakeley. And it comes to Gary Stevens, who's got time to set the sights, pushed out by Morgoon. And in the end, it flew safely for Levski Sofia across the penalty area and out of play.
Well, that's the kind of area I was talking about. Gary Stevens can wander into almost at will. Number 4, Svetanov, has been dragged back and he's been dragged in narrow. And that kind of area is there for Gary Stevens.
Here's Durant for Hakeley. Morgoon is out. The crowd wondering why Durant didn't go for goal himself. And maybe he's wondering that now. Presley. Here's Stephen. Gary Stevens with a cross. Header out by Markov. Well, you have to say, that looked as though the goal was there for the taking by one or the other of them.
Well, this is a better attempt, in all honesty. It's a very tight angle from Gary Stevens, but he goes for goal. And Rangers don't have the luck of someone just there to knock it in. But this is a real chance. No offside there, no question of it. I thought Ian Durant's just going to knock this in. But he didn't do Mark Hakeley any favours by knocking it behind him. And the chance was lost. And what a chance.
Well, Morgoon has made 2 or 3 now. Very important contributions for Levski Sofia. He was found wanting. Kupchev got it off the line. Markov, who has been booked. And Durant feels the referee's been lenient.
The only nice thing you can see about this tackle is he got there as quickly as he could. Look at that. So late.
Shot from Robertson. Well, Sasha Markov is walking a dangerous line here. But for not going back 10 yards with that earlier free kick, along with the player taking this goal kick, Kupchev. Who played in Motherwell's Scottish Cup winning side a couple of years ago, then fell out with that club, was involved in a long contract wrangle, during which time he had spells on loan in England at Liverpool and Bolton. Ian Ferguson. Well, it's just not coming off the Rangers at the moment. Which can be so voluble in its support at the moment. Relatively quiet, certainly by Ibrox standards. And here's Bodimirov, looking to silence them even more. There's a player on Trendafilov on this near side.
That's another little warning. Really is to Rangers.
Well, Archie Knox bouncing up and down on the bench. Clearly not happy with the way the team is performing. And Levski with plenty of confidence. It's Grigorash. They do believe they're a better side this season than they were when they won the Bulgarian Championship, and they won it by 8 points. Grigorash, one of the newcomers, a Romanian who played in the European Cup before in the 89-90 season for Steaua Bucharest. Thomas Stephen, who's won a European medal, of course, with Everton, along with Gary Stevens, along with certain gentleman on my right as well.
Seems such a long time ago.
Well, it's more than 8 years ago now. Rangers try again from deep. Robertson. Here's Markov. Headed by Presley. Haitley flicking it off, and a look as to where Duncan Ferguson was, but he has been asked, as we said at the start, to play wide on the left-hand side. And the only player perhaps who could have anticipated that, Ian Durant, who had ground to make up, trying to get close to Haitley from a deeper position.
I'd like to see Ian Ferguson catch him up a little bit quicker. I mean, when the ball's played long, for him to gamble, like in that situation. Not only Duncan Ferguson, the two strikers to be gambling, but one of the central midfield players. Super Paul's more of a holding player in there, but Ian Ferguson certainly has got the capabilities to break forward. I just feel he should be doing that or gambling a little bit more.
Todorov. Well, it's a big night here in the European Cup. It's a big night on Sunday, rather, a big afternoon on Sunday in the FA Carling Premiership. Manchester United against Arsenal, the top two in the division, head-to-head at Old Trafford, live on Sky Sports. Stephen, Haitley's offside. It's been a stop-start sort of half for Rangers. Plenty of the ball.
Very close, this, you see that sweeper pushing out, and when they cross like that, it's a difficult decision for the linesman. There wasn't an awful lot in that.
Levski went out in the first round of the Cup Winners' Cup a year ago to a Swiss second division side, Lucerne. They've lost their last 6 rounds of European matches, but they're beginning to believe here that this might not be the worst time to draw the mighty Rangers, who have been out of sorts in their league. Without some key players, of course, Ali McCoist, Andy Gorham, and at the last minute tonight, Richard Gough, who's been making a lot of headlines up here in Scotland, got secretly married last week, and then was far from secretive about his relationship with Andy Roxburgh, although the former Scotland boss had his own back, I think, by announcing his resignation on the day that Richard Gough's revelations were published in a local newspaper up here, getting plenty of space for himself. Borimirov. Svetanov. There's a left back with plenty of attacking ideas. Dafilov going in with a header. It was a weak one, but again, another rap across the knuckles for Rangers, who you fear would be happy to get to half-time and have a talk in the dressing room to sort one or two things out.
I think Walter Smith will be anxious to get to half-time, because this team, the Bulgarian champions, have grown and grown, and they've started, as you say, I think, to believe that perhaps there's something more than just holding out for a 0-0 draw in this game for them. And certainly in the last 10 minutes, they've asked one or two questions of their own.
But all that could change. Panic could set in if Rangers could raise the roof here by getting the first goal of the tie. And soon. Hoisted in by Presley. McPherson in there. Well, it could have looked anyway, but that for Rangers. Off the head of Ian Ferguson. Controlled well initially by Presley. Here's Stevens. Robertson. touch by Borimirov. Taken on here by Semenliev. Svendafilov. Todorov. They call him the Kaiser because of his generalship on the pitch. Wasn't one of his better passes. And the last minute of the first half, plus stoppage time. Stephen just squeezing it through from the ball. He waits for Robertson. That was a theatrical fall, and the referee wasn't fooled by it. Borimirov. Paul trying to get back to him, and given lack of match practice, that was an excellent piece of retrieving by tonight's Rangers captain. Duncan Ferguson and Durant getting in each other's way, and there's a little cameo of what's aggravating the crowd here. Borimirov. Todorov. Play on, and Paul does that. Ferguson. Haley. The chance here for Rangers right on half-time. Cross just cut out.
There was much better pace in that build-up, but there really was. From back to front, everything happened so much quicker.
Durant with the corner. Muldoon comes through the crowd. McPherson! In stoppage time at the end of the first half. Muldoon is beaten by David McPherson.
Well, it always looked the most likely route, right from the first minute. Anything put into a decent area was going to cause the Bulgarians problems. Goalkeeper doesn't clear it. David McPherson certainly doesn't hit it very clean. But sometimes it's better just to hit them into the ground like Davey does there. And just bobbles it into the net, because it doesn't matter how they go in. This is a very important goal for Rangers. It all started from the space that Mark Haley found there. Couldn't produce the cross. The goal resulting from the corner.
Svendafilov. At a time when Levski had their heads up and were looking, in truth, for the past 5 minutes or so, the more likely team to score. But Rangers found the aerial route really with a challenge from the corner. And the first to locate the loose ball was Dave McPherson. It papers over some of the cracks for Rangers in the first half. But they go in at half-time at Ibrox, leading Levski Sofia by 1 goal to 0.